ABC Matt here with the Vinyl Finds updates. Been about a month, so not doing too bad, I guess, right? I've got quite a bit to show, so we'll get into these real quick. No introduction necessary, I guess, so let's just do this. If you watched the last video, you might have seen this sitting up there, where the baseball record's sitting, which is appropriate. Baseball season is starting. Well, I guess has started. So yeah. But anyway, I had Inside Llewyn Davis, the soundtrack to the movie, setting up there last time. Forgot to show it, so here it is. Great soundtrack. I enjoyed the movie a lot, but the soundtrack really is great. So if you're into folk, 60s folk, definitely pick this up. It's well worth it. Plus, there's a previously unreleased Bob Dylan track on here. Well worth listening to. I saw on Facebook that a lot of you were picking stuff up on the Best Buy sale, and I did as well. I picked up Ray LaMontagne's Gossip in the Grain, and God Willing, The Creeks Don't Rise. I already have his other two albums, didn't have those. I had a $15 Reward Zone certificate, so I just kind of got online until they were having a sale, and picked both of those up. Ended up paying, I think, like $8 total, including shipping. Shipping was free on it. Yeah, so I was really happy with that, and my wife and I also bought tickets to see Ray LaMontagne in St. Louis in June. Our anniversary is on the 16th. He's in concert the 18th, so we decided to treat ourselves and go check him out in concert, so I'm pretty excited about that. Then I have some VCLT from Travis to show, vinyl on video. He messaged me, told me he was sending one thing, and sent a surprise album along with it. This was the one I knew was coming, Michelangelo One Voice Mini. Kind of some folky, rock, psych leaning stuff. This was a pretty enjoyable listen. I hadn't heard this before, and he picked one up, and I commented on his video, and he found an extra copy and sent it to me. So this was a pretty good listen. I like this one quite a bit. So check this out if you're into that kind of stuff. And he also sent Harpers Bazaar, The Secret Life of. Harpers Bazaar, kind of just some 60s pop rock. I like their stuff quite a bit. It's kind of on the lighter side, but it's enjoyable. And this is an album I've been looking for a long time and just have never come across. So Travis, thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate it. Both albums were fantastic. In pretty good shape as well. So I really appreciate you thinking of me when you saw those and sending them my way. So I've had some luck with thrift stores recently. Found quite a few at a Salvation Army for about $1 a piece. And another Salvation Army in a different town for $1 a piece. So we'll show you what I found. First up, one very well known to the VC, kind of a prog rock classic, McDonald and Giles. Couldn't believe it when I found this sitting in the stack for $1. And the day that I found it, there wasn't a whole lot there. It was kind of weird, like a random drop-off of one good album. Really nice shape, really good condition, played really well. I enjoyed this a lot. Definitely a prog rock album, a little bit of psych leaning in spots. Very enjoyable. Seek this one out. Then we have the Magnificent Men. These guys, I wasn't sure what to think of it. I didn't know if it was frat rock just based on the cover, so I bought them anyway for $1. Why not? And it's actually like Blue-Eyed Soul, a bunch of white guys singing some soul and R&B music, and it's actually really good. Apparently they were the only all-white group, or the first all-white group to headline the Apollo Theater. Not positive on that, so don't quote me there, but yeah, this was really enjoyable. And I also found their Magnificent Men live album, which was pretty good as well. So yeah, check these guys out if you find them cheap. I don't think they go for much money, so you can probably find them at a dollar bin or something. But yeah, if you like soul, these guys are really good. The Best of Sam Cooke. I was pretty happy to find this as well. This was a fun spin. This is a cool find. This is Jerry Kennedy's Dancing Guitars. He Rocks the Hits of the King. These are all Elvis Presley covers, but just guitar instrumentals, kind of along the lines of like Adventures, kind of a surf guitar sound. I don't know much about Jerry Kennedy. I tried to find stuff out about him, and there's not much out there, but I guess he was just a guitar player that did a lot of covers and things like that. But this was a really fun listen. I thought of Dave Druno 82 when I picked this one up. I think this would be up his alley. And then a couple comps. These are on Columbia. The Super Hits Volume 1. Actually, this is Volume 2. I have Volume 1 as well. Volume 2 is kind of more along the poppy, kind of bubblegum stuff. 1910 Fruit Gum Company, Lemon Pipers, Love and Spoonful, Jay and the Americans. Van Morrison's Brown Eyed Girls on here. So this was a cool comp to pick up. A lot of good hits on there. Volume 1, here's a little more garage type stuff. Count 5 Psychotic Reactions on here. Question Mark and the Mysterious 96 Tears, Power Beer and the Raiders, Same the Sham. So you kind of kind of two different styles of hits on there, but so kind of a garagey and a little more bubblegum. But yeah, they're really cool and in good shape. And another compilation, this one's on Liberty Records, kind of blues rock stuff. This was a really cool one. Canned Heat, Spencer Davis Group, Albert Collins, Traffic, Johnny Winter. Really, really cool album. I like this a lot. Nice combo blues rock. Moving on to the dollar thrift store finds. This was Signs of the Zodiac, Scorpio. This is on A&M. They did the whole series of the Signs of the Zodiac. It's like there's music that plays on them, but there's also a guy that talks about the Signs of the Zodiac. It was just kind of a cool timepiece, you know, kind of along that 60s vein that I really like. So for $1, it was worth picking up for the kitsch value alone. Found some Christmas albums, and I am a fan of Christmas. So we have Elvis Sings the Wonderful Songs of Christmas. Wonderful World of Christmas, rather. And you can see in here, I've got it in the cover, but there's a postcard that came with it and had the postcard, which was kind of neat. But yeah, my wife hates Elvis's Christmas albums. I don't know why. She just doesn't like his voice on the Christmas album stuff, but I like it, so I picked it up. Then we have Merry Christmas from the Supremes. This was cool. I have the Miracles Christmas album, and I have the Supremes. Love that Motown sound, and what they do with the Christmas songs is so much fun. This will get played a lot around Christmas and probably before then. So, and a country Christmas with Loretta Lynn. I like old country and I like Loretta Lynn. Yeah, I haven't listened to this yet. Obviously, it's March, but no, I was pretty happy to find this, so it'll be fun. Now moving on to record store stuff. This first little group is from Brian Lee's record store in Greenville. This was Steve Noonan, self-titled. This is on Elektra. This is on the 4000 series. This was $1. Bo had recently shown this on Facebook and really recommended it, and I came across it. So that VC vibe, it's true. I also picked up the Clockwork Orange soundtrack. This is $3. This is not the original. It's not the gatefold. It's a little bit later reissue, but still cool to have nonetheless. And it'll look good displayed next to my glass orchid of the Clockwork Orange. So. The Dave Clark 5. I don't know what this... The Dave Clark 5 and the Playbacks. One side is Dave Clark 5, the other side is the Playbacks. I believe this is their first album. This is on Crown Records. This was kind of cool. It looked like it was from Jerry's Records in Pittsburgh. The sleeve it originally came in had like Rare written across it and that permanent marker like Jerry's Records are. So kind of a cool find from Pittsburgh all the way to Illinois. Mark Ditch, I hope you're watching. This is right up your alley, man. Batman and Robin by the sensational guitars of Dan and Dale. Kind of some surf guitar styled stuff, all Batman themed. They do the Batman theme song, and then the rest are all like the Batcave, the Penguin Chase, Flight of the Batman, all in a surf guitar style. Really, really fun spin. I love this. So this is only $3. I have 3 albums to show from an antique store that I found in St. Charles, Missouri. I was browsing Craigslist one day for records, and a guy had posted in there saying that he has a little booth at this antique store. It updates it weekly. Showed some pictures of stuff that he had, and the prices looked pretty good. So one day I had to go to St. Louis. My wife went with me. St. Louis is about an hour from where I live, and St. Charles, Missouri is about another half an hour from there. So it was quite a bit of a drive to get to the store, and we get there, and there were a couple booths with records, and really overpriced. And then I found the booth that the guy had advertised for, and it was just not what I was expecting. There was some good stuff in there, but it was all like $30, way overpriced. You know, what are you going to do? You went there. But I did find 3 albums that were really cheap for what they were. First up is Canned Heat, Boogie with Canned Heat. It's actually on my want list. I've been looking for it for a long time. This is one of the only copies I've ever seen, and it was only $2. So that was worth the trip, I guess, for that. And I picked up another Canned Heat album. This was $3, I think. Hallelujah. Another one off the want list. And the last one I found there was this Hot Tuna album. I can't remember the title. It's like First Pull, Then Pull, or something like that. This was $3. So, you know, the trip wasn't entirely wasted, but it was a little disappointing, so won't be making a point to go back over there. Everything else I have to show all came from Vintage Vinyl in St. Louis. It really has become my kind of #1 spot to go. It's been coming through in spades for me. I spent way too much money there this month, and I have a record show on Sunday, and then after that I'm going to try to calm it down a little bit to appease the wallet and the wife. But I did have a credit there, so I didn't spend as much as it's going to add up to be. But yeah, I still spent more than I normally do in a month on records, and it was because of Vintage Vinyl. So we'll go through these. First group are all $1. Aretha Franklin, Aretha Arrives. I don't normally pick up her stuff unless I know one of the big hits off of it, but she does a cover of 96 Tears, so I thought for $1 it was worth hearing her cover that. Joe South, Introspect. I think it's some, I'm not positive. The cover, of course, looks, really psychedelic, but I don't think it is. I think it's kind of like folk country rock. I listened to a little bit online, but took a chance on it for $1. Al Green, Let's Stay Together. I don't see Al Green stuff very often, so when I do, I try to pick it up. Have the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Birds of Fire, and somebody wrote their own little bubble here that says, and the Flaming Sun. So there you go, kind of its own caption. Other than that, other than the ripped cover there, it's actually in pretty good shape. And Zeke Geek, I know you found the 45 of this recently, but this is a Gypsy in the Garden. Put the cover there, but it's a gatefold. So, really cool there. Some prog rock, psych leanings. Not as psych as their first album, but yeah, a little more along the prog line. Despite the rip here, this is actually an upgrade copy for me. This is Eric Burdon Declares War. Eric Burdon from the Animals and War. Spill the Wine is on here. Fantastic song. They do a cover of Tobacco Road as well. Really like this album. The copy that I have is just water damage, torn all along the bottom, so this will be a decent little upgrade for me. Now we're into the $2.99 albums. We have Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, Call of the Wild. As Bo has said before, I don't agree with Ted Nugent's politics, and overall I think he's a giant douche, but for $3 I'll pick up the Amboy Dukes albums. It's good stuff. So it's surprising I did not own this album. This is the Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. If you watch my record run video, you saw Sam pick one up for like $8 or something like that, and he agonized over that like all day long, and I got home and I was like, oh, I want to play that album. I didn't have it, so I found a really clean copy for $3. So this is Lighthouse, One Fine Morning. I know everybody kind of says just pick up their first album and the rest you can leave, but for $3 I thought it was worth picking up, and the cover art was really cool, so yeah, for $3 I don't feel bad about that. Then we have Wishbone, Ash, Pilgrimage, some kind of harder, proggy type stuff. Don't come across their stuff very often either. So the last of the $3 albums, this is Gentle Giant, Acquiring the Taste. I won't turn it on its side, but you can use your imagination as to what that looks like, but yeah, anyway. The next couple albums were $4.99. First up we have The Critters with Younger Girl. Some nice pop stuff. I know sometimes it's advertised as garage, and a couple tracks may be classified as that, and I know Garner and Bo and others have said the term garage is really loose. You see it kind of thrown around a lot, but this is more along just pop rock from the 60s, but really good stuff. Younger Girl and Mr. Dyingly Sad, fantastic tracks, really good pop. Another $4.99 one, the McCoys, Hang On Sloopy. I was really happy to find this. Travis, his music moment was about this song, and this album has been on my want list for a long time. And for $5, this was a steal. This is usually a pretty pricey album for me, anyway. I'm cheap, so. Then we have the Silky, You've Gotta Hide Your Love Away. This is just some folk stuff from England. A lot of Dylan covers. Probably 90% of this album is all Dylan covers. But the title track and the first track is You've Gotta Hide Your Love Away. Of course, the Beatles cover. So for Beatles fans, this is kind of a cool little story. John Lennon actually produced the track on this album. Paul McCartney plays guitar on it, and George Harrison had his guitar with him, but was just banging out a beat on the back of the guitar, and they included it in the song. But yeah, kind of a cool little story there. It's mainly why I picked this album up, but no, it's on Fontana, and it was an enjoyable folk album. It was pretty good if you're into folk. This is the Innocence, self-titled. This is on Kama Sutra. I like bubblegum and sunshine pop. I like it a lot. But this was almost too much for me in some spots. I mean, it's really sappy, sunshiny pop. It was enjoyable, and the Marzi Dotes, it kind of hypes it there on the little hype sticker, was a good, enjoyable track. But man, this album was, if you like sunshine pop, give it a listen. But woo, it was heavy on the sunshine. We have Grunting, promo copy, self-titled, on Columbia. I wasn't sure what this was. This was $6.99, so I took a chance on it. Thought it might be a little psych leaning just based on the cover. It turned out to be some jam band type stuff. It was actually pretty good. Marty Balin produced it, I believe. He's credited on the back as seducer, so whatever that translates to in terms of recording the album. But yeah, it was really good. I'm Funky was the first track on here, and it was really pretty good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, just some jam band, little blues rocky in spots. Pretty enjoyable listen. This is one of my better finds. This was $6.99. Dust, self-titled. It's an original on Kama Sutra, the pink label. It had a sticker inside that said, original, but it was super rough. And it's got a little bit of tape on the top seam and the bottom seam, and the album had some light scuffs on it, but it really wasn't that bad. For $7, I was willing to take a chance on it. This is normally a $20 or $30 album. Hard rock from the early '70s. Not typically my thing, but this is kind of revered as a classic, and it was enjoyable. It was really good. Side 2, I think, is much better than Side 1. I like Side 2 a whole lot better. Especially the opening track, From a Dry Camel. Really, really good. It gets a little Psych leaning on that side. But yeah, Dust, self-titled, really, really good album. The Strangeloves with I Want Candy. This was a great find. This is a mono copy on Bang. This was $7.99. Super hard to find now. I don't know why it's so hard to come across, but really I've never seen a copy, and the ones I've seen online are way out of my price range. So for $8, I definitely thought it was worth it. Just a great garage sounding album. The liner notes claim that these guys are from Australia, but I think the story is that they were actually from New York or somewhere like that, not from Australia remotely, but it was a cool story and made the liner notes a lot of fun to read. But yeah, really good album. If you're into garage, check this out. My first Nuggets album, believe it or not. This is Nuggets Volume 1 that hits on Rhino, released in '84. Mainly, I think everything on here was from the original Nuggets on Elektra, but they kind of pared it down and just went with some tracks that became big hits in the '60s. So you've got The Leaves, Electric Prunes, The Sandells, Blues Magoos, Music Machine, Count 5. Really, really great compilation, of course. Can't say much that hasn't already been said about this. This was $8.99. I didn't even hesitate picking this up, so really happy to finally have some Nuggets. This is Mount Rushmore, High on Mount Rushmore. This was $9.99, but this was a part of the stack that I had a credit on, so it didn't cost me that much. I wouldn't take a chance on something for $10 normally, but when you've got a credit, why not use it? So it was advertised as Psych. I listened to it today, and I enjoyed it. But there was just some minor Psych things. I would say it's just more hard blues rock, which was still enjoyable. It was a good album. I think it was a lot of fun to listen to. But Psych is, I think, a stretch. Like I said, a little more along the kind of heavy blues rock type stuff. But you can see this guy here on the front. The self-confidence or the lack of self-awareness that it took to pose for that, and he's also holding a ball of fire. Kudos to the big man for. And no, I'm in no place to judge that, but I just thought, boy, the cojones on that guy to pose on that cover. That's it for the LPs, but I do have some 45s that I want to show. I still haven't got around to showing the 45s I picked up back in September at that garage sale that I keep talking about and saying I'll show, and I promise I will. I'll do a video soon on those. But our church had a mystery dinner theater to raise some money for a mission trip that they're going on. I was in the dinner theater thing, and it was a 50s theme. And I show up, the night of the performance, and they've got the place decorated, and they've got 45s and LPs hanging from the ceiling and on the wall. They carefully thumbtacked in between the spindle holes and just rested it on there, so they did well hanging them. But some of the ones I was seeing on the wall, I was like, oh my gosh, whose are these? And it's a local collector had donated a bunch for use as decoration, and afterwards we tore everything down and offered to give them back to him, and he was like, oh no, keep them, take whatever you want out of them. So I got a bunch of free 45. I took probably about 100 of them. I know that seems like a lot, and I guess it kind of is, but when they're free, why not take them and take a chance on some of them? But I've got some here. I don't know how many exactly I have in the stack, but I just kind of wanted to show kind of the best of what I found. And some of these, it's crazy they were in there and for free. And the guy even said, you can look through them. I went through them. Some of them are pretty rough, but there's probably not much there you're going to be interested in. I don't know why he said that, because these are incredible. Moved a little closer so you can see these 45s. We have the Balloon Farm, A Question of Temperature, backed with Hurtin' for Your Love. A lot of these you'll recognize from Nuggets. Then we have the Barbarians, Are You a Boy or a Girl, backed with Take It or Leave It. The Beau Brummels, Laugh Laugh, backed with Still in Love with You Baby. Blue Cheer, The Summertime Blues, backed with Out of Focus. The Buckinghams, Kind of a Drag, backed with You Make Me Feel So Good. The Castaways, Liar Liar, backed with Sam. The Chicago Prohibition 1931, The Ballad of Bonnie and Clyde, backed with Ragtime. I didn't know what this was, took a chance on it. Discogs, I think, says it's pop punk. They're way wrong. It's just some like old-timey styled pop, kind of along the line of Lee Hazelwood's 98% Apple Mom and Apple Pie Band, whatever that's called. So just some like ragtime styled stuff. The Circle, Red Rubber Ball, backed with How Can I Leave Her? The Electric Prunes, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night, backed with Levin. The Five Americans, Now That It's Over, backed with Western Union. The Leaves with Hey Joe, backed with Funny Little World. The Music Machine, Talk Talk, backed with Come On In. The Nashville Teens, Tobacco Road, backed with I Like It Like That. The Outsiders, Time Won't Let Me, backed with Was It Really Real? Elvis Presley, Hound Dog, backed with Don't Be Cruel. Question Mark and the Mysterians, 96 Tears, backed with Midnight Hour. Question Mark and the Mysterians, I Need Somebody, backed with 18. Mitch Ryder with Breakout, backed with I Need Help. The Shades of Blue, Oh How Happy, backed with Little Orphan Boy. Shadows of Night, Gloria, backed with Dark Side. The Shangri-Las, Leader of the Pack, backed with What Is Love. The Small Faces, Ichiku Park, backed with I'm Only Dreamin'. The Swinging Medallions, Don't Cry No More, backed with I Found a Rainbow. The Syndicate of Sound, Little Girl, backed with You. The Trogs, Wild Thing, backed with From Home. This is a Ventures EP. It's Walk Don't Run. We've got Walk Don't Run and the McCoy on the front, and Honky Tonk and Raunchy on side 2. This is going to be hard to see. This is the Zombies, She's Not There, backed with You Make Me Feel So Good. So yeah, it was cool to find some free 45s and take those home, and yeah, lots of garage goodies there, Nugget-styled stuff. I played a bunch of them. All of those I showed, I played, and they played through fine. So I don't know what the guy was talking about, but I will reap the the benefits of him getting rid of them. So thanks for sticking around. I'll let you guys go now. It's a long one. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.